happy women don't leave good husbands.
Why do men lose in court?
Your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce? You're not a bad person, so don't let...
Where did all the good men go?
If you have a good man in your...
The biggest scam in the world has destroyed many men's lives as a result.
Men aren't afraid of marriage. Men want marriage. Men don't want divorce.
Men do not get treated fairly when it comes to alimony in the court system. Judges are biased against them.
We talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy. When you say
The good guy is only treated as a last option when modern women hit the wall. Kindly subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask of you. Thank you.
I think I have just lost the one person that I prayed for, all because of my self-sabotaging tendencies. Because God forbid I actually accept good things that are happening to me, because I'm so used to it being a mess. I'm so used to it being toxic. And here I am in the face of a non-toxic situation, in the face of a God-fearing man, in the face of a family man, an amazing person, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Does anybody want to get married? Because I need to get on this. Like, I need to have kids. I need to get married before my grandparents pass away. And I also need to have kids before my dog passes away, because he's a really good kid dog. And I'm running out of time. You guys, it is hard out here. So applications are open. If you want to. It'll be hard, but I'm fun.
Marriage has no benefits. Couple years later, she leaves and gets paid to do it. No thanks. Wasted your time chasing Prince Charming. Now you're desperate. When you find a good man, you'll feel as if you settled for less. She is a walking red flag, all right. This is what happens when the clock starts ticking for these women. They start getting desperate. They start wanting to settle down, trying to have kids. Unfortunately, a lot of modern women have this realization coming their way. They think going out to the bars and smashing multiple guys is fun. But the fun that awaits them is crying on social media, storming up public places to try and locate a husband. They honestly do this to themselves. If these women actually cared about being married and getting with a good man, their actions would reflect it.
Can we talk about the man that didn't want to give up so easily? The man that pushed away his ego and did everything he could the moment he realized his relationship was crumbling. The man that took all of the blame, which made him feel at his lowest, just for the chance to fix the relationship. Because even though he wasn't happy, he just wanted to have the chance to fix it. Because he wanted to. He wanted to make her happy, which in turn he thought would make him happy. That's all he wanted.
Your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce? You're not a bad person.
This is some of the worst advice I've seen. One of the biggest problems that we're facing in a society today is we think peaceful, good relationships are boring. This has to do with our own past traumas, where when you're constantly living in fight or flight growing up, that's what you expect, and you self-sabotage when you're in a good, peaceful relationship. Oftentimes, people who go on to leave a good person to just be free and look for excitement end up regretting it big time later. Because when they do start going to therapy and getting the help, they realize that person was somebody they could have done life with. And every relationship gets a little bit boring. And it's choice to get those feelings and excitement back. Do not leave because you're bored. Do the self-work and find out why.
Sad to hear dependable husbands are viewed as disposable items. Boring and predictable are not bad. Just ask any abused spouse. The mindset that everything, including relationships, are disposable Temporary is one of the problems. Great advice from you, because the other person is leading people astray. Long-term marriage takes effort and work. Put in the work. Why are there no good men? They ask. Companion love, not infatuation love, where it's a drama and dopamine-feeling roller coaster, is the love type that lasts for decades. Soon, marriage will be for a small group of people that try to live right. Marriage rates will continue to drop, and that's why good men refuse to get married. It's over, ladies. We are done with the games. That woman is a divorce coach. So keep in mind that she has to lead women astray for her business. The saddest part is that these women that are in these marriages don't see the value in their man, that they have to listen to a woman that's been divorced twice telling them to divorce the good guy. People just don't have sticking power anymore. The vows have no meaning anymore.
Like, any girl that like leaves a guy because he's nice to her isn't like emotionally mature herself. That's if a girl's wanting to leave a guy for that, she's too young and dumb, or maybe she's still 35 and still emotionally immature.
Sometimes you'll meet a woman who's very composed. She's only 21, 22, carries herself amazing. You'll also see a woman who's 38 acting like complete trash.
I agree.
Happy women don't leave good husbands.
He didn't really start this process. I guess it was more so me, because I was always looking for someone else because I didn't know how to be loved or how to accept love. And so while he was fighting for me, I was pushing him away. But I never truly accepted happiness.
Happy women don't leave good marriages.
I left the good guy. I left the guy that everybody looks at and is like, that's a dad. That's a husband. That's how it's supposed to be. He did the dishes. He cleaned the house. He took the kids to school. He worked all day. He made good money. He supported us.
Women that feel supported, women that feel happy and loved and validated, those women aren't leaving good marriages and good husbands.
He was the good guy. So I'm here to tell you, it's okay to leave the good guy. It's okay to leave the good guy.
So the next time a man says to you that women are tearing their families apart because they randomly woke up and decided that they wanted a divorce, send them this video.
If the husband doesn't give the wife a reason to be unhappy, she will find a reason. Lack of accountability and projection are easy to do. Rather than introspection and acknowledgement of one's weakness are harder. She said it. I was always looking for someone else. Translated, I had an affair and thought this guy would be an upgrade to what I had, but it didn't work out. Now I am a train ride for the guys. There was a TikTok of a woman saying she left her husband even though he was a good husband and good father. But after 13 years, she realized he wasn't the love of her life and needed to look elsewhere. Yes, leave the good guy, but also leave the good guy's assets, his home and his kids. Go be happy, just leave. You heard her loud and clear. Send them this video if someone ever says, happy women don't leave relationship. This woman here is a perfect example why men are walking away. Even if you're in a relationship or marriage, you still have to maintain your own happiness. Everyone is responsible for their own happiness. She wasn't in that marriage for love. She already got everything that she wanted from that man and just left him broken.
Not necessarily bad advice, but Texas is a common law marriage state, so just living with a girl isn't really the best recipe either. If you're going to move in with somebody, you need a non-marital cohabitation agreement to make sure that nobody assumes common law marriage.
So I've come to the realization tonight, I'm not made to date in 2023. I don't understand where the hell.
Let it out.
This is going to. I'm not made for situationships, whatever the that means. No, I'm made to be a wife and a mom. I want my man to come home to me. I want to have dinner cooked. I want laundry done. I want to do all that. That's what I'm made for. That's what God made me for. I know people are going to be like, it's 2023. Women don't need to be doing that. I want that. I want that.
It is way too late. This is what happens when you don't appreciate the people that values you in their lives. They always seem to think there's a better option somewhere in the world. And then, come found out they actually need their man. They always try crawling their way back once the chads are done with them. She did that man a favor by leaving. He deserves way better.
So I have zero shame in telling a man that after 3 months you are paying my bills. And if you're not, bye-bye.
Oh, I can hear the hearts just breaking from here.
There's 7 billion people in the world. If you can't do it, somebody else will. So I have no shame. I'm kind of sort of trying to find somebody to bring me food every once in a while. Like, talking to a guy and I said, yeah, after 3 months you pay my bills. And he said, no.
That's not surprising at all, because it sounds like that man actually has some self-respect.
Like, a guy knows. Like, oh, if I really like her and she's not crazy, yeah, I would pay her bills. Maybe I threw it out there too soon.
Maybe you just shouldn't have thrown it out there at all.
Men don't understand the investment and the benefit and how we're trying to make sure that we're not getting played. I can't help you, men. Don't talk to us. You're not the one. We're not talking to brokies.
Fortunately, not all women think like this. But unfortunately, it is the ones that do that tend to speak the loudest, and are the main reason that a lot of men are choosing to remain happily single.
Bro, if my girlfriend came up and said we've been dating for 3 months, pay my bills, I'd be like, I'm not your money tree, and leave her. I don't want a gold digger in my life. I had a wife like this. She tried to have me arrested when I asked her to get a job to help with the bills. Divorced her. Happy now. 5 years with a 1977 car I'm restoring. Life is great now. I'm single because of my own standards. I'm not dating her if she doesn't have her own place, car, job, money. I'll just be single, I don't mind. I actually had someone ask me to pay their bills to get a second date. Yeah, I walked away. My husband and I dated for 2 years before we moved in together. The bills were mutual to 50, and they still are 30 years later. If after 3 months you've been dating a woman and she said, you need to pay her bills, you need to show her the door, the only thing you would gain by doing that is add more bills onto the ones you already have for yourself. She mentioned benefits and trying not to get played. But who's really getting played here? The man who's taking care of your bills and his at the same time for nothing in return? Or the leecher who just expects her needs to be taken care of without giving nothing in return?
4 ways women lose a good man and how you can avoid it. Taking them for granted. A man been so good to you for so long, you no longer see the value in them. The value in how they treat you. Not communicating well or effectively. Like expecting men to read our minds and getting mad when they can't. Being dismissive about how you make him feel, or being overly defensive in response to how he feels. Basically, not liking being held accountable for your actions and how you've made that man feel. Last but not least, being selfish and unwilling to compromise.
That is true.
Okay, ladies, I hate to say it, but I have to say it because I am sick of this and I'm speaking to myself. Why do we never give the nice guy the chance? Like, why do we look at the nice guy like the ones who's just annoying and just thirsty and they're always available and not attractive to us? And meanwhile, we're complaining that we're getting dogged out, that we're dealing with manipulative, narcissistic men who can't treat a woman right. Not even men, little boys who don't know how to treat a woman right, who just fumble us all the time. Like, we complain that we get treated like that, but 9 times out of 10, we overlooked the nice guy to deal with this man. Boy. Like, I don't get it. Why do we do that? In 2024, can we stop doing that? I'm speaking to myself too, because I hate that I do this too. Like, can we give the nice guys a chance? Let's give the nice guys a chance. I want the nice guy. I want the guy that's texting me, good morning, beautiful. I hope you have an amazing day today because you're such a blessing and I'm grateful to know you. Like, I want that guy. I don't want the guy that's texting me, hey, what's up? Can we stop doing that? This is not it. Like, in 2024, we're going for the nice guys.
It's amazing how these women come to this realization when they're near 30. They blame it on their trials and errors of being smashed and passed around by the players. These women value what they want versus what they need. What they value is the toxicity and drama, and what they need is a loving man. They can't escape that hell because they're so addicted to it. The nice guy is no longer just waiting around to be picked. He's too busy traveling the world.
Why don't men get alimony? Because it's my personal belief that the laws are neutral. They're gender neutral. But men do not get treated fairly when it comes to alimony in the court system. Judges are biased against them. They are. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. In the last 40 years, I have had 4 cases that I remember of men getting alimony that I had to twist their arms in order to get alimony for them.
It's not just alimony, it's custody too. Men are paychecks to these people, nothing more. I don't care. I'll try my best to get it because women are not ashamed to get it. So why should I? The simplest definition for alimony is robbery.
What they fail to understand is we're getting the ick. It's a permanent shift within us.
She goes on to say that we're getting the ick towards men and relationships in general. And I, honest to God, couldn't agree more. Fellow women, please feel free to chime in. But like, men give me the ick. And I'm married.
How is it that you married somebody that you cannot stand? I really hope the husband sees this video and right after shows you the door.
No one talks about divorcing a good guy. I've been divorced twice, both of which were my decision, and neither one of them were abusing me or cheating on me. That doesn't mean there wasn't a pile of other reasons as to why we couldn't maintain a healthy relationship. You deserve to be happy. And I'm proud of you for taking responsibility for your happiness and doing something about it. So stop beating yourself up.
The reason why nobody's talking about divorcing the good guy is because they know how it makes them look and they oftentimes live to regret it. And the bottom line is that it is extremely disappointing for men to hear stories like this because it tells them that they could be an amazing man, but this is how they could still end up. The woman that they love and that they said vows to and that she said vows back to him could just decide she's not happy and she leaves him. Ladies, what so many men would love for you to understand is that they don't do that to you. Men do not leave good women simply because they aren't happy. Because most men understand that if they are not happy and yet they have a good woman, it is a him problem. A lot of women, unfortunately, do not think the same way when it comes to their own happiness because they put it on the man to make them happy. These are women that will be in the cycle of finding a new man and being happy for a short amount of time, but then eventually, over time, they become unhappy because they're unhappy with themselves. So for you men listening, my biggest piece of advice is to make sure that you're with a woman that is naturally happy with herself. Trust me.
This woman has been divorced twice. She describes herself as a divorce recovery coach for moms. Whatever that is, her whole game plan is to convince moms to divorce their husbands to become miserable just like her. If you look at her finger, you will notice she's not even married. Well, that's fair. She never claimed to be good at marriage. She's only good at destroying them and dragging other women down with her.
A new study finds that despite women making less money than men, more single women in the U.S. own homes than single men, thanks to a phenomenon economists call divorce.
Divorce. Why are they laughing?
Mom, how much the ring cost, Mom?
About $150, $200.
And it lasts you 30 years of marriage?
Yep, and I love it.
How do you get there? You know these women be talking about they want $12,000 rings. What'd you think?
True love is you love the person, not the actual material of it.
Ooh, talk
It's
to
a
him.
representation
Talk to him,
of
then,
it.
Mom. Talk to him, Mom.
I just got engaged and my lady almost beat me because I spent $2,000. She loves it, but she didn't want me to spend so much because she cares more about being my wife. Yeah, I got me one. That's good for her. Please don't think that should be the standard for all women. Again, we love that for her. It's a reason why she's been married 30 years, 12K. I rather have my partner put that as a down payment for a house. I'm trying to build, not have someone be in debt for a ring. Good for your mum, but me personally tell her I want the 50K one. What these women fail to understand is that the price of the ring doesn't matter. The ring is there as a reminder of your commitment to your husband or wife. Spending $200,000 on a ring just for a 30-day marriage is just crazy. The more expensive the ring, the more likely she's gonna leave you. All of these women asking for $20,000, $50,000 rings, but none of them have that kind of money in the bank, yet alone $50.
When was the last time you slept with a physically unattractive guy?
My husband.
He's ugly?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love him.
Okay.
Your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce? You're not a bad person, so don't let...
Where did all the good men go? If you're not happy in your marriage, just get a divorce. And then go find someone new so you can enjoy some more temporary happiness. Like, this has got to be the worst advice I've ever seen on the internet. Like, I thought marriage was a commitment, for better or worse. Nah, it's just when you're not happy, leave, go find someone else. But guess what? Your second marriage and your third marriage, by the data, says it doesn't get easier. Actually, your chances of divorce go up because you develop a mindset, oh, well, if I'm not happy, we're not talking about abuse or cheating, but if I'm not happy, I'm leaving. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with being miserable the rest of your life. But hey, that's what people do, right? That's what we do in 2023. Why even say vows? Because obviously they mean nothing, right? Like I said in the beginning, where did all the good men go? Where did all the good women go? Do better. Facts.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women, the men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. The culture is telling them, do not get married. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? Because with a wife, you can now have love. You can now have nurturing. You can have support. You can have affection. This is what he can't get from a roommate. So if that is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect. This is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing.
A lot of women hate this kind of message because they hate the truth. Whenever a woman is speaking up on men, they always seem to get angry. The only thing I see modern women today bring in a relationship is just more baggages and headaches. Most of them don't actually know what a man wants. There's a reason why I say choose peace over misery. Dealing with some of these women will only hurt you more in the end.
This will ruin a man's life. The number of divorced men that I have met as a psychotherapist is huge. A lot of these men were left completely broke financially, mentally, psychologically, even socially. And the problem is that most of you think that this would never happen to you. But that's what all of these men thought as well. Your choice in your partner is most likely going to define the rest of your life. All the good, all the bad, and everything in between. That's why it's so important to know who you're marrying now and who you're going to be marrying in the years to come. Because, trust me, these two people, they're not the same. Most men miss the serious red flags that come up in the beginning of a relationship when they're still infatuated with their partner, or they don't set the tone for the relationship. So, such as, what are the non-negotiables here? How do you maintain communication in times of stress? So even though they might sound small, these initial mistakes are some of the things that men missed when they were building those foundational stepping stones of a relationship, which has caused them to be in the place that they are now, where they feel like they've lost everything.
If you don't want to get divorced, don't get married. Otherwise, emotionally and financially, you will be destroyed. Gents, remember she's not yours forever. It's just your turn. I am so tired of it that I completely gave up getting into a relationship. It's way too risky with divorce rates so high. In a period of 15 months, got married and divorced. After 6 months of physical abuse, I filed for divorce and lost everything. I got to keep my clothes. A good relationship or a good marriage is built, not found. When a man loses everything, he just suffers in silence. Even divorced married men who's been married for 15 years would never go down that road again. Everything is so upside down because marriage has lost its meaning. It has become a business for modern women in the West.
We talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy. When you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine. You know, we can get through this. And he's so encouraged.
I will genuinely never understand this mindset. But of course, this is like a 2-minute video. So what else does she have to say?
Everything's just so fucking peachy keen, right? We talk about how I'm manipulated into staying because he's a good guy. He does nothing wrong. Like, the only thing he's guilty of is being lazy and, you know, not putting in effort like we did when we were in the beginning of our relationship, like any other marriage. He doesn't beat me, he doesn't do anything, he doesn't.
Women fall in love with the process of falling in love and sometimes not even the person. Let me explain. The majority of women fall in love with the romantic side of a relationship where he's courting you, he's taking you on dates, maybe he's getting you gifts, he's putting in all of this effort to get you, and you expect him to continue this effort when life smacks you in the face, and it's an unrealistic expectation. Women have been brainwashed into believing that it's supposed to be Disneyland movie all of the time, and he is supposed to spend 95% of his time making you happy alongside working 60 hours. Maybe you added some kids in there, maintaining a house, and all of the things that they don't show you in a Disneyland movie. And the other part about it is so many women sit on the internet all day long and see everybody's highlight reel of what relationships are supposed to be like, so they start to believe that the grass is supposed to be greener on the other side. It is not manipulation if a man wants to work out a relationship with you. You should be thankful because the majority of men that have an ungrateful partner at home would leave your ass and leave you with absolutely nothing and not want to try at all. And I can promise you the dating scene that you think is going to be better is not going to be. It's the same story every single time. These women put unrealistic expectations on the men. Well, they still don't put in the same effort. They're not having as much sex. Maybe they're not cleaning the house as much. They're not even doing the same things they did to get a man, to keep a man. And the biggest mistake that women make is that they don't go for compatibility, or if they even like this person, they're so focused on, oh, he bought me flowers. Oh, he took me on a date. Oh, he spent $500 on me. They are never looking at the person for who he is rather than what he's doing in the relationship. And then they fuck themselves because they wake up next to somebody after 10 years and they're like, who the fuck did I marry? Because we don't get along. I don't like anything about this person. The person that he really is isn't the person that I fell in love with. And it's because you fell in love with the idea of him and not for who he actually is. Okay, bye.
100%. Women need to grow up. We aren't dating anymore. We are partners. We are building a life together. A lot of times they don't want marriage, they want a wedding, and they don't want children, they want babies. That bored stage in relationship is comfortability between both of you. Normally, women leave at that point while the man thinks it's going good growing together. Married 13 years. Apparently she only wanted someone to pay her bills, cause when my disabilities made it where I couldn't work anymore, she move on quick, like and in a hurry. My ex used to complain that I didn't help enough around the house. I work 14 hours a day, plus did all yard work, all repairs, all the laundry, and built all her side projects. Amen. I tried to go through 12 weeks of marriage counseling with my ex, but 5 weeks in, she filed for divorce with no talking and ruined a 22-year marriage and destroyed our family. Was married once. Will never do that again. My life has been amazing since I've been single. The amount of peace and happiness I have has really opened my eyes.
Hey, is it actually true that a guy treats you how he wants to be treated first, and then he starts treating you how you've been treating him?
It's absolutely true. Men are a product of their environment. So if you're a kind and nurturing person, he will be protective of that person and kind and nurturing back. If you're the other way around, he will find that person that he desires somewhere else. That's the way it is.
That is 100% true. Just like Mr. Construction stated here, we put in 100% at first, then we match efforts. I don't do husband stuff to receive roommate treatment. Absolutely true. Even when we initiate, we expect some initiation back. The less we get, the less we give. Yep. We set the scene and lead. If you don't reciprocate, we realize we're being used. So we match your energy to protect ourselves. Very true. When I'm not being treated the way I treat them, no matter how much I love her, I'll walk away.
I got no kids, I got no man, I'm 27 years old, and it's like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. Who's gonna be my man? Who's gonna be my husband? Like, where am I gonna be in 5 years from now?
Have you guys ever cried for no reason?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
For no damn reason.
What was going on in your life at the time that just tears just started falling? You're like, what the f is wrong with me right now?
You know, sometimes you cry about things like, you look at your age, and sometimes I cry like, I've cried like
5 ways to be a fantastic wife or girlfriend and prevent your man from ever cheating or leaving you. Okay, ready? Here we go. Number 1, always, I repeat, always have dinner on the table. When they get home from work, your man is hungry. You need to make sure food is ready for him. And if you don't live with him, make a plate and bring it over. Okay? Number 2, always take the initiative, right? Take the initiative for being intimate. Your husband or your boyfriend should never have to beg you. You should be satisfying his sexual need daily. And if you're not, you need to step it up. Okay? Every day. Number 3, do your man's laundry. Come on. It's the least you could do. It's your responsibility as a woman. Do his laundry. Okay? Take the initiative. Don't have him ask you. Don't get mad at him because his shirt's dirty. Do his laundry. Number 4, clean his house. Even if you don't live together, go over and clean his house. Make sure his house is always clean. If you want to be there and you want to be in a clean house, well, clean it. And number 5, give him some peace and quiet. Okay? He doesn't want to come home and listen to you nag. He wants the house to be positive and fun and uplifting, and sometimes just to be able to relax. Doesn't want to hear about the drama, doesn't want to hear about you complaining. Okay, so keep his belly full, keep the house clean, keep him satisfied, and you'll keep a happy man. You're welcome.
And these are the most basic things that a man is asking for. But in what world today is a man getting such treatment from a modern woman today? That man would have to be the luckiest man in the world to have such a woman by his side. This kind of treatment is only a dream most men wish would come true. But ultimately she's not wrong though. This is truly the way to a man's heart. It's really crazy how they ignore married women's advice, but take single women's advice. Hopefully they wake up and realize they need to switch sides.
This has gotta be one of the craziest scams I've ever seen. Recently, a 35-year-old woman from China was arrested for being married to several different men at the same time to get money from them. Although a couple years ago, she had been married to just one man and even had a daughter with him. Since her husband was always busy with work, she eventually decided to start trying to meet new people. When she realized just how easy it was to start dating new guys because of her good looks, she quickly realized that she could actually make a lot of money by pretending like she wanted to get married to them. And since she always told each guy that she couldn't actually register their marriage since she needed to remain single to be eligible for house compensation. She was able to hold a private ceremony with each guy without them knowing that she was already married. By hiring new actors to attend each marriage ceremony as her friends and family, none of the guys suspected a single thing. Over the next few years, this woman split her time between 4 different husbands, constantly hiring new actors to help her sell her elaborate story to each. Somehow, none of them ever realized what was happening until she told one man that she had twins with him to try to ask for money, but failed to provide proof. This man finally understood he was being played and called the cops, who arrested her. In total, she had scammed almost $100,000, and she faces a minimum of 10 years in prison.
That's not enough time.
If a guy really wants you, he will pursue you, and nothing will stop him from that. I don't care if you think it's his religion, his parents, his job, whatever. Stop it. Like that, none of that matters. If he loves you, if he values you and wants to make a life with you, he will go after you. That's how they're wired. Women try to complicate it. And we go, oh, it's complicated. It's got a lot of different things going on. No, women are complicated. Men are not in this area. And we've heard it from so many people, but I think we still need to hear it. We make excuses for it because we can't bear the thought that they didn't want us. But at the end of the day, it's much better to face the truth. And the truth is, they didn't want to commit to you enough because they didn't pursue you, and then you can let it go and move on.
Pursue, don't chase. Fight for what you want, but don't lose yourself along the way. If they're worth it, you do whatever it takes. You pursue or chase someone because they are running away from you. If she like me, she will reciprocate my energy.
I agree.
Why some women will leave a good man. The truth is, a lot of women have walked away from a really good man, and it's got a lot to do with how you define good. Being a good man isn't just about fixing everything, being overly nice. It's about being able to set standards for how you want your partner, your life, and your future to be. And with standards comes rules and regulations for what is right and what is wrong. And you're not just saying this, you're acting this out. Your words and your actions match. Many times, a lot of men are fearful about creating standards for how they want their partner or their woman to behave. And many times this can seem as though it's controlling. But I want you to realize, for her to feel safe and protected in your relationship and your partnership, it's really important to have rules for the both of you. She should have standards, and you better have standards. If you're only following her standards and rules for how she wants her partner or the relationship to be like, you better know that that will never last. A real ascendant man will know that there needs to be a reciprocal effort in both people putting in an effort to respect each other's standards and rules for what they want their relationship to be like to be healthy.
Most women are on a path of self-sabotage, create a frame, and enforce boundaries to minimize that from happening. Because what women say they want versus what they really want are two different things. It is not a point how you define good man. Point is that women will choose bad man by purpose because they enjoy being hurt and treated badly by boyfriend and husband. Great woman dumped me. But I found someone better, and she is still alone. They leave because they're bored. They leave because the relationship is too peaceful. They leave because there's no chaos or arguments in the relationship. Most of the time, they leave because they have a guy on the side that you just didn't know about. Once that guy breaks their little heart, they start crawling their way back to the good guy. But to put it simply for you, these women just aren't it.
Why women leave good men. Why it's mainly women who are settled with a house, kids, and a good husband decide to leave it all and act like teenagers again. It could be for a number of reasons. These chicks are getting married at like 20, 23, something like that, maybe too young. They get their kids out of the way. They're 38, 39 years old, like 20 years later, something like that. Kids are pretty much out of the house. They just see their friends getting divorced, and they see all these shows shown to them. You could call them divorce porn, where it's like basically it encourages women to leave good marriages because the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, and they legitimately think that they'll do better. Why do they do it? Because they can't. They're motivated contractually in family law to benefit to break the union. Before you go and decide like, oh, I want to go get married, why don't you go sit in family court for an afternoon? Just watch how guys get treated through the system before you go running out there, marching into the slaughterhouse with your eyes closed. At least march into it, with your eyes wide open, and move to a state that's friendlier to fathers.
If you truly value your peace, if you truly value your sanity, I would think 3 or 4 times before going down that road. I'm not saying there's no good women out there. I'm saying the chances of you finding a woman that's not going to look at you like a business is really, really low.
Attention ladies, here are 5 tricks to keep your man happy if he's working 50 hours a week. Have dinner, bring him a beer if he's on the couch, and use that morning wood like it's supposed to be used.
I agree.